Voting is a civic duty. Let's register on the electoral list. This is a message from Equinoxe Television.
Hi there to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. in Douala. It's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Our Majesties right away. Cameroonians of all spheres continue to express discontentment over derogatory words which were used on one of their national heroes, Ernest Wandier, who fought relentlessly against white colonialism or the colonial rule in the country. The video of Elimbi Lobe is still not sitting in well with most Cameroonians of all walks of life. We bring to you their various reactions in this news edition, and also who exactly was Ernest Wandier, the freedom fighter. We tell you more about what he stood for and his ideology. That would be in this edition. Other news also, and human trafficking continue to gain grounds in most parts of the country. We'll be telling you more about this criminal activity in this newscast. Viewers, those are our big stories. Details when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. We just told you a while ago that Cameroonians from all spheres, all walks of life continue to express discontentment over some derogatory words which were rained on one of their national heroes, that was Ernest Wandier by Elimbi Lobe. Now they say he was not a bandit, he was not a criminal, he was not a terrorist as some present him today. Ernest Wandier was a nationalist fighter who fought for his country. Babila Jonathan now tells us more about what Ernest Wandier stood for.
Ernest Wandier was a leader of the struggle for independence of Cameroon in the 1950s.
Ernest Wandier was a Cameroonian nationalist leader, involved in the struggle for independence of Cameroon and the reunification of the two Cameroons during the French administration. His involvement in the struggle for Cameroon independence was within the framework of the UPC, which he was a member, a co-founder, and a member all through. He joined politics in a very young age and played a very key role within the UPC and became the vice president in 1952.
He and others continued to resist the government of President AMADU after French Cameroon became independent in 1960.
He was involved in the clashes that pitted the UPC in French Cameroon and the French colonial administration until when the party was outlawed in 1955. After 1955, he was a member of the UPC who went on the ground to actually make sure that French Cameroon is liberated from French rule and subsequently reunified with British Cameroons. After independence in 1960, he continued to fight against Ahijo's government because he considered that he was a puppet to the French.
He was captured in 1970, tried and condemned to death.
His main aim within the UPC was to make sure that French Cameroon becomes free and an independent nation from French rule, because it was a United Nations trustship territory, which by the UN rules it had to be programmed towards independence. It had to be programmed towards independence, developed towards independence rather. Then secondly, he wanted reunification. Reunification in the sense where the two Cameroons that existed, the British and the French Cameroons, Wandier within the UPC wanted reunification, independence or reunification, such that when Cameroon becomes independent, the two should come together immediately.
On 15 January 1971, he was publicly executed in the West Regional capital, Bafoussam.
And Cameroonians continue to express discontentment, worry and anger after Elimbi Lobe called their national hero a bandit. To some, the outing of Elimbi Lobe should not go unpunished. Our reporter Cedric Chakutio spoke with some Cameroonians in the streets of Douala and compared their reactions in this report.
The remarks made by Abel Elimbi Lobe comparing Ernest Wandie to a bandit have provoked strong reactions and deep unease among public opinion. These statements, deemed unfounded to some Cameroonians, are interpreted as an attack on the memory of a man who devoted his life for the struggle for the independence of Cameroon. I witnessed that era when he was a teacher. I was still a young boy. Those who say Ernest Wandie is a bandit, I'm really angry with them. Because I really admire the way he was fighting for the independence of our country. He's one of those who really fought for our independence and for the freedom where we are into now. Ernest Wandie, yes, I know him. I was still young when he was killed in 1971. He's part of those who fought for the independence of Cameroon. To some Cameroonians, Ernest Wandie was a freedom fighter fighting against colonial and neo-colonial oppression, thus a man of history.
Ernest Wandie fait partie de ces figures de l'histoire du Cameroun, de ces hommes qui ont donné de leur vie pour la liberté que nous avons aujourd'hui. Donc, peu importe le bord dans lequel il a été, mais l'essentiel, c'est qu'il a osé.
The shock of misinformation about the emblematic character leaves some Cameroonians who did not live through this era speechless, and the young generation who seem to ignore this part of Cameroon's history.
D'après moi, vu le contexte, parce que là on parle peut-être d'un écrivain, il ne sait pas comment, il n'y en a aucune idée.
Ernest Wandie, honnêtement, j'ai jamais entendu parler de lui, parce que durant tout mon cursus scolaire, on ne nous a pas enseigné ça, vraiment pas du tout. Les seules personnes que j'ai eu à entendre parler de leur histoire, il n'y a que Oumiobe et Douala Mangabel. Je pense qu'on devrait instaurer ça dans le système scolaire pour pouvoir mieux apprendre à nos petits frères l'histoire du Cameroun.
As a leader of the Union des Populations du Cameroon, UPC, he embodied resistance to French colonial forces and their local allies who used repression to stifle any dispute. He was executed in 1971, but his commitment remains a symbol of the quest for justice and sovereignty for the Cameroonian people.
We will be talking more on those derogatory words which were used on Ernest Wandie by Elimbi Lobe in the second part of the news. Now let's move on to something else. Human bone trafficking has been on the rise in Cameroon. Recently, security forces in the littoral judicial police have nabbed 3 alleged human bone traffickers. According to investigations, the skeletons were exhumed from a grave in Chang in the west region of the country and were intended to be sold here in Douala. Lucy Liengo is here, has the details.
Human bone trafficking in major cities like Douala and beyond has gained momentum as young people are increasingly getting desperate to make money even through unlawful and unethical means. This is a case of 3 individuals aged between 19 and 29 who are allegedly involved not only in the desecration of graves and corpses but also in the trafficking and sale of human bones. The suspects were arrested during the security operation instructed by the Littoral Regional Delegate for National Security and carried out by the Anti-Crime Unit of the Littoral Judicial Police.
Following the instruction of the Littoral Regional Delegate for National Security, during the night of 20 to 21 February 2025, the Anti-Crime Brigade Patrol stopped 3 individuals carrying a bag of human bones.
Investigation revealed that the bones had been exhumed from a grave in Chang in the West region.
According to the statements, the skeleton in question had been dug from a grave in the town of Chang with the intention of selling the bones in Douala. At the end of the investigation, they will be brought before the competent public prosecutor's office.
The forces of law and order continue to call on the population to remain vigilant and report any suspicious act.
And now let's take updates from Pinyin in the northwest region, where some civilians were killed. That was over the weekend. The traditional ruler of Pinyin has reacted to the heartbreaking story of those who were killed in his area of command. 6 youths lost their lives in a tragic attack. Armed men dressed in military attire stormed a local bar in Mamben. That was on Sunday night. The attack left 6 people dead, all of them civilians. Since then, at least 2 people have been reported missing by their families. Stella tells us more from Bamenda.
The grief in Pinyin is overwhelming. The bar at Mamben was once a gathering place for the community that became the scene of unimaginable horror on Sunday night. Witnesses say the gunmen, dressed in military-style attire, arrived at about 7:30 p.m., took the unarmed young men outside and shot them. 6 young men were killed on the spot, while the bar attendant was injured in her arm. While families mourn their death, the pain is even worse for those whose loved ones are still unaccounted for. At least 2 people have been reported missing since the attack, and their families are desperate for answers. In response to the killings, the paramount fount of Pinyin, His Majesty Kenneth Kanasobu III, addressed his people on February 25th, calling for peace and unity in these troubled times. A section of the font's release reads, "With a heavy heart, I address you again in the wake of these senseless killings of our beloved youths. I stand with you all in this time of sorrow and pain, and I express my deepest condolences to the affected families. The traditional core of our land has urgently been convened to reflect on a way forward and explore all avenues for restoring peace and justice. It is imperative that we as a people come together now more than ever to ensure the future of our children is one of safety and hope. As the families of the victims struggle with their loss, the call for peace remains stronger than ever. Although the people of Pinyin are mourning, they are demanding accountability."
In sports reports, we have says that the goalkeeper of Victoria United, Eric Parfait, Germany, has left the players' hostel in Limbe to an unknown destination. The players' action came hours after the club posted a video giving the impression on social media that everything is well within the club after reports of torture. Our reporter Smandikan Gabriel tried to get in contact with the mother of Eric Parfait, Germany, today to no avail. He tells us more in the report which comes up next.
After the video in which Eric Parfait Dominic declared that all was well with him in the Victoria United Players Hostel in Limbe,
on s'entraîne normalement, il n'y a pas de problème, tout ce qui s'est dit sur la réseau n'était pas vrai.
Minutes later, the same player was seen packing his belongings, set to leave for an unknown destination. Unfortunately, after packing his belongings and about to leave, a phone call changed his plans as he was asked not to take anything out of his room but come empty-handed. It is another twist that has begun in the Eric Parfait Germany's torture. We saw even his mother being driven out of the players' hostel.
You don't enter here again. Now your party called me. You don't enter here again. Shout. Hey, stay outside. Take the gate. Put it outside the gate. I beg. Put him outside. I beg. Send her outside. I beg. Send her outside the gate. I beg. Send her outside. Go outside the gate. Go outside the gate. You want to shout? I don't do all. You want to shout? Put her outside.
Even though Victoria United stated that all was good with the player, many are now asking what prompted the player to leave. After the cry of the mother of Eric Parfait Germany, Catherine Bakam, the Cameroon Football Trade Union, SINAFOC, in a media release, has called on football authorities in Cameroon to investigate and give sanctions to Victoria United if they are found guilty about the torture meted on goalkeeper Eric Parfait Germany.
From our business partners, Cameroon's largest microfinance institution, TARHNTEH Cooperative Credit Union, has once again won a national award. This time it is the Golden Award in the prestigious The Guardian Post Achievement Award. Ntakul received this award for its leading contribution to economic development in Cameroon in the last 50 years. And now Cedric Chakutio has more. We take these adverts from our business partners, these other adverts. Several partners and distributors of Shineway multi-level marketing company have been awarded cars and other prestigious gifts for their hard work within the company that was in the year 2024. This encouragement and celebration was done during activities marking the first anniversary of Shineway in Cameroon. The ceremony that saw the admission of new partners and distributors was done at a prestigious Arena Hall in Bunamusadi, here in Douala. For me, Armstrong Sander has the details.
The glamorous Arena Hall in Bunamusadi in the Douala 5 municipality was the venue chosen for the rich and colorful maiden anniversary of the leading multi-level marketing company in Africa and in Cameroon, Shineway.
We gather to celebrate a remarkable year of growth, achievements, milestones. I'm thrilled to see so many smiling faces. I'm honored to work alongside each and every one of you.
In an electric, joyous, rich and fun-filled moment, thousands of potential partners and guests of honor joined the Shineway and Shiny family to celebrate remarkable success, growth and achievement.
Shineway makes life better. Bringing
a moment to reward outstanding partners, distributors and stockists, raising them from one level in the company to the other. A moment like on the Hall of Fame, with hard-working partners and distributors awarded cars and many other valuable items.
Je prends ma deuxième voiture aujourd'hui. J'ai déjà gagné un voyage international. Maintenant, en matière d'un cap, on ne peut même plus en parler.
Je dis merci à cette opportunité que Shineway nous donne vraiment. Et j'invite tout un chacun à nous rejoindre dans Shineway. Parce que pour gagner à Shineway, c'est tellement facile. On parlait de 44 000, on parlait de 196 000. Donc, et dans Shineway, on n'a pas besoin de longues études.
Founded in China in 1970, the renowned multi-level marketing company made its way into Cameroon in May 2024.
Our company is special in so many ways, but I'm going to cite three of them. First of all, our company assures you good health. Our company assures you wealth. And also, when you buy a product, you're able to benefit of another one.
Nos produits sont 100% naturels et très efficaces. Vous avez suivi tout à l'heure en salle, les gens témoignaient de ce qu'ils avaient comme mots et comment le traitement les a guéris. La deuxième chose, c'est que ces produits sont très moins chers, très abordables. Et une fois qu'on est partenaire, quand vous achetez un produit, on vous en donne deux. Donc, Shineway a pour objectif de résorber le chômage au Cameroun.
The colorful anniversary was commemorated under the distinguished presence of Mr. Alex Liu, Shineway Director for Francophone Africa, among several other guests of honor. Satisfied and fulfilled, the many participants took the rendezvous for next year, chanting the slogan, Shineway makes life better.
Thank you for me. That report brings us to the end of the first part of the news. Let's now move on to Talking Point. Welcome back, viewers. Our guest tonight is AMADU. He is a human rights defender. Thank you, sir, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. Now, many Cameroonians have been expressing anger. They have been shocked after some derogatory words, invectives were rained on one of their national heroes, Ernest Wandi. Were you also shocked by those words from Elimbi Lobe?
And thank you once more for giving me this opportunity. I will start here by saying that I watched the video from Mr. Elimbi Loble with a lot of dismay and regret, given the fact that the message he was passing seems to me as a hate speech against NSY, which hate speech, as often said, is a means of communication that discriminates or creates hatred among an individual or a particular group of people.
Are you also of the opinion, like some other Cameroonians, that those utterances from Elimbi Lobe should be severely punished? Should he not be brought to book?
Permit me to say first of all here that the statement that was made by Mr. Elimbi Lobe is really a delegated statement, as I earlier said, and a hate speech that is punishable by the Cameroon Penal Code. Because Elimbi, normally when somebody makes such a statement, a complaint to file against the person or the prosecutor. But the State Council need to initiate a proceeding against the person to make sure that they sanction the person, because those are those are the kind of things that keep us giving us bad image. You know very well that in 1991, the Cameroon National Assembly declared Enes Wanji as a national hero. So if the parliament declared him as a national hero, so I don't see who Elimbi Lobe is to come and maybe deny that fact. We all know the role that Mr. Enes Wanji played with regard to the independence or the post-independent period through the UPC, and what happened later on happened to him. Even after the coming to the Cameroon gained independent under AMADU Ahidjo, he still continued with his advocacy, saying that AMADU Ahidjo, the then president of Cameroon, was still like a puppet being used by France. So because of that, he was arrested, prosecuted, and later sentenced to death. And later on hanged, but actually we Cameroonians are celebrating him today because of his rule in even the freedom we are expressing today. Because even the patriarch Mr. Elimbi Lobe, he too is using the platform of the media to express himself, and I think one of those who have contributed greatly to this freedom of expression that we are expressing here in Cameroon today is the late Enes Wanji.
And as a young man in your 30s, you learned or studied about our national heroes, one of them being Enes Wanji. Now, before we continue this conversation, can you tell us what you know about Enes Wanji?
Out there to understand that Enes Wanji is a very important personality in Cameroon. As I rightly said here at the beginning, in 1991, the Cameroon Parliament declared Enes Wanji as a national hero. And we all know the role that Enes Wanji played the post-independence period, the role that he played as a leader of the UPC to make sure to facilitate the independence of French Cameroon, facilitate the independence of Cameroon, and as well as what happened, the unfortunate thing that happened to him. Despite the unfortunate thing that happened to him, Enes Wanji remains somebody with an indelible and unwiped legacy. He has a very strong legacy that needs to be respected. Those are the people that fought for us and for even the life with the peace and the unity, as well as some of the things we are having today, especially the freedom of expression and freedom of union or assembly and all the like. It is thanks to these people, so they need to be respected. And every other national heroes need to be respected in Cameroon. Now, we need to play a very crucial role, and the government as well need to make sure that they do things in such a way that they will valorize these people, show that make the youth to understand, or the Cameroonians to understand the importance of respecting these heroes, because of their role in everything that contributed to building the nation Cameroon.
And now, AMADU, Elimbi Lobe somehow claims he was speaking for the Sawa people. Does he have the moral grounds to do so? And also, why is the government and even the National Communication Council still silent as at now after those utterances from him?
The effects of these things goes to those that really suffer the effects of such things are the youth. Because the youth should shun or to be careful not to be used by some of these politicians for their personal gains, because the outing of the Elimbi Lobe is just for fighting, is only for political interests, for political gains, and it is Elimbi Lobe who made a speech as an individual, and criminal responsibility is individualistic. Criminal responsibility is not collective. So people should stop saying that he is speaking on behalf of the Sawa, because he doesn't have any power in any sense to speak on behalf of the Sawa people. So the youth in Cameroon should not be controlled, should be used by these politicians to engage themselves in any form of violence and anything, whether it be before election or after election, because we want everything to be done in a very democratic way, in a very reasonable way, and a very educated way, something that will portray a very good image for our country, Cameroon, something that will make the youth have a very good image. We should not in any way accept such thing in our community, and we should do everything possible to make sure that we don't fall prey to such things while people are benefiting from it. And another big problem I would say here is that we have this culture of impunity in Cameroon. And that is the major reason why such things like hate speech are still continuing in Cameroon, because the government of Cameroon is very lax. In fact, the laxity of the regime in place to hold people accountable to their crimes, because the most effective way of impeding such things like hate speech in the country is to hold those responsible accountable. First of all, they equally need to educate people, educate Cameroonians. Even it should be included in our curriculum, in the educational system, this way that you can sensitize or educate Cameroonians on the danger of hate speech, make them to understand the importance of social cohesion and unity, make them to understand how Cameroonians can live, are supposed to live freely in every part of the country, irrespective of their origin or ethnic group or their religious and whatsoever. So Cameroon is a state of law, and we should not in any way allow people to tamper with it, even though it's regrettable that as I said, that the impunity or the laxity of the regime in solving some of this problem, I equally blame the Communication Council. I think that the role of National Communication Council is also to control some of these issues of the media. And normally, Mr. Elimi Lobe ought to have been called for questioning by now, so that we should warn him. And a good example of way of impeding such thing was a recent case of the Professor Abba Oyono, when a popular newspaper made a false, unfounded allegation against him, and when he filed a complaint immediately against the owner of the said newspaper, a newspaper who is already popular in making such unfounded allegations on personalities in Cameroon, you realize that the person who is responsible for that newspaper went to beg for pardon, for forgiveness, because of the act. So those are the ways of impeding people. So you understand that by that act, the person will no longer engage himself or any other person will imitate such thing again, because of the fear that the hard arms of the law will fall on him or her.
AMADU Tante, what can be some of the effects or consequences of such utterances on the mindset of Cameroonians, especially the younger population?
Any effect of hate speech, first of all, it can create violence, can create serious violence. It can destroy generational ties between the people of those who call the Bamikes and even the Sawa community, and Cameroon in general, because those are the kind of things that are not to be tolerated in our country. And secondly, such a thing can equally a serious threat to democracy and human rights. So they need to be, by all possible means, to push out and to avoid us having any such thing again. And coming to the election, as I rightly said at the beginning, this year is an electoral year in Cameroon, and a very crucial one for that matter. So I think issues like this should not be tolerated. Minister Elimi Lobe need to face sanctions, severe sanctions for his acts, so that he will impede others from doing or imitating such a thing, because those are the kind of things that can create chaos. We know that the effects of hate speech are devastating. The effects of hate speech are far more than what you can call a bomb. I'm saying that the effect is more than a bomb, first of all, to understand that. When a bomb happens, when it explodes somewhere, even if it kills everybody that is found in that place, it will end there. But when the effects of violence created as a sort of hate speech, sometimes it will be a generational something. If I wake up today and realize that that's the person who killed my father, or my father or my parents were killed by people from the other ethnic group or from that community, I might never take it lightly. The reason that the violence might continue to the next generation. So hate speech is not a nice thing in our society, and we should not in any way tolerate or accept such a practice in our community for the sake of peace, social cohesion, and unity.
Thank you so much, AMADU Tante, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight, and hope to have you some other time. Before we go this advertorial, we take this news from our business partners. Cameroon's largest microfinance institution, TARHNTEH Cooperative Credit Union, we told you a while ago, has once again won a national award. This time it is the Golden Award in the prestigious The Guardian Post Achievement Awards. TARHNTEH received this award for its leading contribution to economic development in Cameroon in the last 50 years, and for being the only microfinance institution in the entire CEMAC sub-region that pays 6% interest on savings.
Microfinance Institution Award is given to this institution for its leading contribution to economic development in Cameroon in the last 50 years. And who is the winner?
It is another victory, another prize won by the Cameroon's largest microfinance institution, TARHNTEH Cooperative Credit Union, a golden award received at the Guardian Post Achievement Awards. TARHNTEH received this award due to its leading contribution to economic development in Cameroon in the last 50 years. After 50 years and above of existence, TARHNTEH Cooperative Credit Union is the only microfinance institution in the CEMAC zone which respects engagement of paying 6% interest on savings. In a bid to move along with digital transformation, TARHNTEH will launch its online app and new SSD platforms. These online platforms will enable members to consult their account histories, withdrawals, and deposit money via their mobile phones.
We are now on the 104,000 members, and our target is to have 1 million members. And how do we serve these members? We have to serve them. We have to digitalize the credit union in a way that you don't need to come to the credit union for a good transaction. You sit at home, you can put money in your account by maybe using your mobile phone.
Through the online apps, the USSD platforms.
To create an account at the TARHNTEH Cooperative Credit Union, a client only needs a sum of 25,000 francs.
To become a member of TARHNTEH Credit Union, you can make a call in the office, then they can sit even while in the office and credit your account based on that phone call. You don't need much money. With 25,000, you can credit your account and you become a full-fledged member.
According to the representative of the Minister of Finance who was present during the event, TARHNTEH is the only microfinance institution that puts man ahead of all its activities.
Existence, even before I was born, and it's been doing quite a lot of work, mutating, adapting, but one thing that stands out is putting man at the center of all their activities. And today we see that in the banking sector, it is not just because you have capital or because you have, huge funds that you would automatically attract clients. It is the quality of services. It is the partnership that they've been able to build over the years. It's, the continuous diversification of their product services and the re-engineering in terms of their communication that has led to the remarkable achievements.
For 50 years with over 104,000 members, TARHNTEH has been at the service of the people. With over 15 branches located in various cities of the country, TARHNTEH Cooperative Credit Union is a gateway to financial strength.
Thank you, Cedric. With those beautiful pictures, we come to the end of this edition of the news. That was what we put together for you today, Wednesday. Viewers, thank you so much for always being with us. Our programs continue tonight. Equinoxe comes up at 7 p.m. with Sarah Langutu, and the news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. with Julien Beth besides. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television, and see you again tomorrow, same time, God willing. Bye-bye for now.